Hey, so I went Monday night and I watched the movie Sound of Freedom. I had been waiting for 2 or 3 years to see this movie, and it did not disappoint. I'm glad they're getting the word out to wake people up, but I think many people will still feel the way I do. But what do I do about it? Other than giving them money, those who are getting it done, which if we all do, I'm sure will make a difference, because it obviously takes a lot of money to do the things that they do, to do these rescues. Ironically enough, though, someone came to visit me yesterday. We had a get together for the 4th of July, celebrating our freedom, knowing that there are so many who are actually not free, even here in America, in the dark, hidden places. They aren't free. She was telling me that the school that she works at is number 7 in the state for homelessness. And she works at an elementary school. And my husband begins to tell me about the area that he has seen down where many of those kids would be going to that school. And it's a picture of no running water. These kids live like in the slums here in Colorado. They live in conditions with no running water. The school sends them food home over the weekend so that they'll have food to eat. My husband said there's definitely heavy drug use in these areas, and he thinks it's so scary he wouldn't even want to drive into these areas. I found myself asking this question to the Lord last night. With all of the big churches, like the really big churches, are any of them going in and taking notice of these things and being a light in the darkness, help provide clothes, blankets, food, water to these people, and especially the children? And then I felt like the Lord whispered something in my chest. You are the church. The church isn't a big mega building where a bunch of people go to. Many of them are living in the falsehood. But we, the ecclesia, are the ones he will send. I don't even know how to say to my husband that I want to be the one to go into these scary places and show them Jesus. But if not me, then who? And if not now, then when? I think that's how this world and this nation has gotten into the condition that it has come to. Because we, the little people, have lacked to realize that it only takes one to begin to make an astounding difference. And Tim Ballard is living proof of that. And though it's taken him many years and many hardships to get to the point where he could have this movie made Sound of Freedom and hopefully wake up millions of people to this reality, we, the ecclesia, have to be the ones who are willing to not be afraid anymore. And to say, here I am, send me, I'll go. And to love not our lives even unto death. So let's pray for each other concerning this, because the hour we are living in is increasingly dark. And if not us, then who? And if not now, then probably never. Concerning freedom, I wanted to remind us of the most important story ever told. Hopefully without my dog throwing a fit. But maybe not. Matthew 27. And morning having come, all the chief priests and elders of the people took counsel against Yeshua so as to put him to death. And having bound him, they led him away and delivered him to Pontius Pilate the governor. Then Yehuda, he who delivered him up, having seen that he had been condemned, repented, returned the 30 pieces of silver to the chief priest and to the elders, saying, I have sinned in delivering up innocent blood. And they said, what is that to us? You see to it. And throwing down the pieces of silver in the dwelling place, he left and went and hanged himself. And the chief priest took the silver pieces and said, it's not right to put them into the treasury, seeing they are the price of blood. So they took counsel and bought with them the potter's field for the burial of strangers. Therefore the field has been called the field of blood unto this day. Then was filled what was spoken by Yirmiyahu the prophet, saying, and they took the 30 pieces of silver, the price of him who was pierced, on whom they of the children of Israel set a price, and gave them for the potter's field, as Jehovah had ordered me. And Yeshua stood before the governor, and the governor asked him, saying, are you the sovereign of the Yehudim? And Yeshua said to him, you say it. And as he was accused by the chief priest and the elders, he answered not. Then Pilate said to him, do you not hear how much they witness against you? And he did not answer him, not one word, so that the governor wondered much. And at the festival, the governor used to release to the crowd one prisoner whom they wanted. And they had then a well-known prisoner called Barabbas. So when they were assembled, Pilate said to them, whom do you wish I release to you, Barabbas or Yeshua, who is called Messiah? for he knew that because of envy they had delivered him up. And as he was sitting on the judgment seat, his wife sent to him, saying, "Have none at all to do with that righteous man, for I have suffered much today in a dream because of him." But the chief priests and elders persuaded the crowds that they should ask for Barabbas and to destroy Yeshua. And the governor answering said to them, "Which of the two do you wish I release to you?" And they said, "Barabbas." Pilate said to them, "What then shall I do with Yeshua, who is called Messiah?" They all said to him, "Let him be impaled." And the governor said, "Indeed, what evil has he done?" And they were crying out all the more, saying, "Let him be impaled." And when Pilate saw that he was getting nowhere, but rather an uproar was starting, he took water and washed his hands before the crowd, saying, "I am innocent of the blood of this righteous one. You shall see to it." And all the people answering said, "His blood be on us and on our children." Then he released Barabbas to them, but having Yeshua whipped, he delivered him over to be impaled. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yeshua into the court and gathered the entire company of soldiers around him. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yeshua into the court and gathered the entire company of soldiers around him, and having stripped him, they put a scarlet robe on him, and plaiting a crown of thorns, they put it on his head, and a reed in his right hand. And they kneeled down before him, and mocking him, saying, "Greetings, sovereign of the Yehudim." And spitting on him, they took the reed and struck him on the head. And when they had mocked him, they took the robe off him, then put his own garments on him, and led him away to be impaled. And as they were going out, they found a man of Cyrene, Shimon by name. They compelled him to bear his stake. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, that is to say, place of a skull, they gave him wine mixed with bile to drink, and after tasting he would not drink it. And having impaled him, they divided his garments, casting lots, that it might be filled what was spoken by the prophet. They divided my garments among them, and for my clothing they cast lots. And sitting down, they guarded him there. And they put up over his head the writing charged against him, "This is Yeshua, the sovereign of the Yahudim." Then 2 robbers were impaled with him, one on his right and another on his left. And those passing by were blaspheming him, shaking their heads and saying, "You who destroy the dwelling place and build it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the son of Elohim, come down from the stake." And likewise the chief priests with the scribes and elders mocking said, "He saved others. He is unable to save himself. If he is the sovereign of Yisrael, let him now come down from the stake, and we shall believe him. He trusted in Elohim. Let him rescue him now, if he desires him. For he said, 'I am the son of Elohim.'" And also the robbers who were impaled with him reviled him, saying the same. And from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Yeshua cried out with a loud voice, saying, "Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani." That is, my El, why have you forsaken me?" Some of those standing there, having heard, said, "This one calls Eliyahu." And immediately one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with sour wine, and put it on a reed and gave to him to drink. But the rest said, "Leave it. Let us see if Eliyahu comes to save him." And Yeshua cried out again with a loud voice and gave up his spirit. And see, the veil of the dwelling place was torn in two, from top to bottom, and the earth was shaken, and the rocks were split, And the tombs were opened, and many bodies of the set apart ones who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they were into the set apart city and appeared to many. And when the captain and those with him who were guarding Yeshua saw the earthquake and all that took place, they feared exceedingly, saying, "Truly this was the Son of Elohim." And many women who followed Yeshua from Galilee attending him were there, watching from a distance, among whom were Miriam from Magdala, and Miriam the mother of Jacob and Joseph, and the mother of Zabdi's sons. And when evening came, there came a rich man from Ramathaim named Yosef, who himself has also become a taught one of Yeshua. Okay, I'm going to stop there, and I'm going to finish the back half of Psalms 22 that I urged you to read in my last video. For anyone who didn't read it or couldn't read it, perhaps there's those watching who don't have a Bible. I'm going to start where I'd left off, Psalms 22, going at verse 13. They have opened their mouths against me as a raging and roaring lion. I have been poured out like water, and all my bones have been spread apart. My heart has become like wax, is melted in the midst of my inward parts. My strength is dried like a potsherd, and my tongue is cleaving to my jaws. And to the dust of death you are appointing me. For dogs have surrounded me. A crowd of evil ones have encircled me, piercing my hands and my feet. I count all my bones. They look, they stare at me. They divide my garments among them, and for my raiment they cast lots. But you, O Jehovah, do not be far off. O my strength, hasten to help me. Deliver my life from the sword, my only life from the power of the dog. Save me from the mouth of the lion and from the horns of the wild beast. You have answered me. I make known your name to my brothers. In the midst of the assembly I praise you. You who fear Jehovah, praise him. All you seed of Jacob, esteem him, and fear him, all you seed of Israel. For he has not despised nor hated the affliction of the afflicted, nor has he hidden his face from him. But when he cried to him, he heard. For you is my praise in the great assembly. I pay my vows before those who fear him. Let those who seek him praise Jehovah. Let your heart live forever. Let all the ends of the earth remember and turn to Jehovah, and all clans of the nations bow themselves before you. For the reign belongs to Jehovah, and he is ruling over the nations. All the fat ones of the earth shall eat and bow themselves. All who go down to the dust bow before him. Even he who did not keep alive his own life. A seed shall serve him. It is declared of Jehovah to the coming generation. They shall come and declare his righteousness to a people yet to be born, for he shall do it. Let's go be a new and more daring ecclesia.